If you are passionate about adventure travel to mystical places and spectacular views, this video is for you. There's a certain thrill that sparks in us every time we hitch up the Airstream Basecamp. It's more than just a road trip. It's the promise of new stories written in sandstone, silence, and starlight. This time, our compass pointed us toward the Bryce Canyon region, a land shaped by wind, time, and wonder. The Red Rock country of southern Utah has always called to us, but this journey felt different. With gear packed, maps marked, and anticipation high, we set off, ready to carve a new chapter into our ongoing adventure log. From ancient canyons to sweeping plateaus, what lay ahead would be a blend of the surreal and the sublime. As we made our way toward Bryce, the landscape began to shift. Towering red rock hoodoos flanked the road, glowing in the late afternoon light. We had entered Red Canyon, nestled within the Dixie National Forest, a prelude to Bryce Canyon itself, but one that stood powerfully on its own. We looked at each other and immediately knew we'd be coming back tomorrow to explore this place properly. It deserved our full attention. But first, it was time to settle in. We pulled into our site at Ruby's Campground, just a stone's throw from the entrance to Bryce Canyon National Park. Ruby's is more than just a campground, it's an institution up here. The story of Ruby's Inn dates back to 1916, when Reuben "Ruby" Syret brought his family to this high plateau. After visiting Bryce Canyon and being stunned by its beauty, Ruby built a small lodge to accommodate travelers who came to see the spectacle. In 1923, when Bryce became a national monument, Ruby's Inn was already the go-to stop for visitors. Over the decades, Ruby's family grew the business from a modest outpost to a full-service base camp for adventurers. Today, the Syret family still runs it, and they've expanded to own most of the surrounding development. One of the hidden gems of visiting Bryce Canyon in the summer is the National Park Service's telescope program, held during July and August. Bryce is a certified dark sky park, and when the sun goes down, the real show begins overhead. We were lucky enough to catch one of their evening events, where rangers and volunteer astronomers set up powerful telescopes for the public. The next morning, we returned to Red Canyon, this time ready to explore on foot. Our first stop was the Red Canyon Visitor Center, where the welcoming park rangers pointed us to a scenic hiking loop that promised stunning views and a quiet escape. Even better, it was completely free. The trailhead was conveniently located just across the parking lot, making it easy to gear up and get going. Almost immediately, we were surrounded by the dramatic red cliffs and tall pines that give this canyon its name. The hike led us through a landscape that felt almost otherworldly. Hoodoos rising like frozen flames and open vistas revealing layers of desert and forest blending together. It was peaceful, beautiful, and just challenging enough to feel like an adventure. Near the end of the loop, if you're hiking it counterclockwise, you'll come to an optional out-and-back spur off the photo trail. It's short but intense, with very steep climbs and descents and lots of loose rock underfoot. It's a heart pumper, no doubt, but the payoff views are spectacular. That said, it's completely optional. Skip it if you're not feeling up for a scramble. The rest of the loop offers more than enough reward on its own. Our next destination was Powell Point, known to the locals as Pink Point. We could see it towering in the distance as we made our way through the back roads, its pale cliffs standing tall above the forested ridgelines like a sentinel. The road to Powell Point isn't especially difficult in terms of obstacles, but it does demand a true 4x4 with high ground clearance. The trail is narrow, winding through dense patches of forest where bushes and branches press in from both sides. After a quiet, minimalist lunch in our vehicle, we set off on foot, following the well-marked trail to the summit of Powell Point. The hike isn't long, but it unfolds beautifully. Almost immediately, the trees begin to break, revealing glimpses of the sweeping landscape beyond. With each step, the views grow broader. Deep canyons, endless ridgelines, and the soft, colorful layers of Utah's geologic story stretching to the horizon. By the time we reached the summit, we were standing in a true panorama. The entire world seemed to spill out beneath our feet. Clear skies, high elevation, and a crisp breeze made it feel like we were on the rooftop of the Southwest. But this place is more than just a scenic overlook. It's a place of history. Powell Point is named after John Wesley Powell, the legendary explorer and geologist who led the first scientific expeditions into the canyonlands of the West. In the late 1800s, Powell's survey teams used this very spot as a triangulation station, a key point in mapping the vast, rugged terrain of southern Utah. Today, the land remains wild and largely unchanged. And standing where those surveyors once stood, it's easy to see why they chose this point. It's not just high, it's commanding. A place where the story of the land becomes clear. The next morning, we made our way early to Bryce Canyon National Park. The air was cool and crisp, with just a hint of sun starting to touch the rim of the canyon. It was a peaceful time to arrive. Parking was still available, but we could already see it was going to get busier. Later in the day, finding a spot at some of the trailheads became a real challenge. Getting there early definitely made the start of our day a lot smoother. With the morning light just beginning to warm the canyon walls, we parked at Sunrise Point and started out along the rim trail toward Sunset Point. This section of trail is easygoing, with wide, well-maintained paths that hug the edge of the plateau, offering incredible views into the heart of Bryce Canyon. From up here, the hoodoos look almost sculpted. Thousands of stone spires clustered together in surreal formations, glowing in shades of red, orange, and white. These spires are the result of millions of years of erosion. Unlike most canyons carved by rivers, Bryce was formed through a process called frost wedging. Water seeps into cracks in the soft limestone, freezes overnight, and slowly breaks the rock apart. Over time, this freeze-thaw cycle creates narrow fins of rock. Rain then wears away the softer material, leaving behind the irregular towers we call hoodoos. After soaking in the views from Sunset Point, we made our way down into the canyon via the Navajo Loop, one of the most iconic trails in the park. The descent begins with a series of dramatic switchbacks that drop you quickly into the maze below. These walls of towering rock feel like a stone cathedral, and the deeper you go, the more the sound of the world above disappears. At the bottom, we transitioned onto the Queen's Garden Trail, winding our way through clusters of hoodoos and weathered outcroppings. The trail name comes from a formation said to resemble Queen Victoria, though the real royalty here is the landscape itself. The trail undulates gently through the canyon floor, giving you a close-up look at the delicate layers of limestone and the quiet resilience of the landscape. Eventually, the trail curved back upward, reconnecting with the rim at Sunrise Point, completing a full loop that offered not only stunning views, but a deeper understanding of how time, weather, and geology have shaped this incredible place. It's not a difficult hike, but it's unforgettable. Every turn reveals something new, something impossibly beautiful. And walking among the hoodoos gives you a sense of scale that no overlook can quite deliver. After finishing our hike through Bryce Canyon, we made our way back to Ruby's, packed up the base camp, and hit the road. It was still midday, but we felt like we'd lived a full experience, one that would stay with us for a long time. We've intentionally left out some of the park's most iconic viewpoints, not because they're not worth seeing, but because we want you to discover them for yourself. There's so much more here than we could show, and that's part of the magic. This trip reminded us that adventure doesn't always mean going far. It just means being open to what's out there. And as always, we're already looking forward to the next one. Just as we pulled up in front of our house, still riding the high from our Bryce hike, a city vehicle rolled in behind us and came to a stop. For a moment, we exchanged that familiar look. Oh! Were the safety chains dragging? Did I forget to renew the trailer registration? Thankfully, it wasn't anything like that. It was just a friendly city official curious about the Airstream Basecamp. He had followed us for a few blocks and wanted to learn more about it. And of course, he led with the question every base camper hears first: does it have a bathroom? We laughed, gave him a quick tour, and shared some of what makes the base camp such a perfect fit for our style of travel. By the time he drove off, we had a feeling we just helped create a future base camper. It was the perfect end to another incredible adventure, and as always, we're already thinking about where the next one will take us.